Hello, hi, I'm Patricia McNeely. I'm an illumined Blu-ray twin flame from Chicago, Illinois. I hope you are doing well today. Yes, I do. But from what I hear tell, a lot of people aren't doing so well. So that's my job. That is what I do. I help people to get feeling better, get back on track, and I'm going to say this right now, stay the course. Stay the course. Because while a lot of people are hearing reports of karma's closing, okay, yes, but what does that mean exactly? I'm going to tell you what it means. It means that you get to stop repeating karmic patterns. Now, there's other things that go with that. There is closure, but there is healing that has to take place. This is a really wild retrograde. It didn't just start with the new moon, and it didn't just start with the retrograde. And it's bringing lots of changes that are not really preparing people. Those of you that know how to leap and take that leap of faith will fare the best. Those of you that do this and just say, I'm going to meditate on it or hand it off, you're not going to do that well with it. And it's going to keep tumbling you about through another cycle until you finally start getting it. What is it that you need to start getting? Well, the one thing for sure that you need to understand is that this is not just your opportunity to be entirely new, it is the opportunity for so many people. Now, just because some of those people have not awakened yet does not mean that the opportunity is not going to be afforded to them. In fact, they may fare better with it than you. In fact, I see people who know less to nothing about what we call spiritual stuff, and they really get it a lot better. People who've been maybe awakened for years and years and years, and you may feel that you've paid your dues, you still have to do some things that you're learning, healing, and there is something to know. Your cosmic karma can come to closure. That means that any of the negative things that have happened in other places in the cosmos, and those other places in the cosmos are connected to your body. This is what's giving you all kinds of weird body sensations, headaches, stomach aches, diarrhea, a stricture in your rib cage, stuff with your lungs, your breathing, the weird ascension flu, feeling completely flat out, feeling like you have no energy. It's not the way you're intended to stay, but learning about cosmic energy is important because you're no longer really bound to Earth in the same way. Or if you are, you should stop binding yourself to Earth because this is a level where you can actually obtain closure. What the heck are you talking about, Patricia? Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Starting from last July, that was the first closure. So I'm going to put it in the context of this film. Has anyone seen the film called Get Smart? Or the TV show back from, I think it was in the 70s and 60s. It was about this bumbling detective guy, secret agent guy, and he would go through a series of doors. Dun, 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 dun. Anyone remember that theme music? Okay, so he'd go through all these doors. All these doors would close behind him to get into the inner sanctum, okay, where he would get his instructions. Now, he had a female sidekick, and she was usually the voice of reason. They worked as a team, but he was a little bit of that naive person, always sort of having something bumbling going on, but with the naivete of a child. He was very much that way, catching the bad guys, and she was right there to get him out of these scrapes. Now, you might feel this is sort of symbolic of the masculine and feminine. Am I always getting the masculine out of scrapes? Well, no, you're a team. You work together. You get to conclude and close this karma on your own, but you have two separate bodies. That's where it makes a difference. So as you close, Okay, so whether you have two female bodies or two male bodies or a male and female body, there has to be closure within your body. There has to be healing within your body, and there has to be removal of old stuff, and there has to be a buildup of the level and the life that actually befits who you are. Now, that is the part that is throwing a lot of people off, because they're saying, but what do I build up? Don't worry about it. Come to me and have a causal body session, because that is what I do help people with. I help you to get your higher dimensional connections. I help to remove phobias, fears, illnesses. We pinpoint some things that are necessary for you. Not only that, it benefits both of you. Whatever you do positive benefits both of you. You don't even have to send a shout out and say, hey, guess what I'm doing for you? It goes by osmosis. It goes over to your twin flame and benefits them. Okay, what do you do about your earth karma? You may still have earth karma that you have to finish. Some of this earth karma might be financial. It might have to do with the courts. It might have to bring something to closure. This retrograde is bringing things to closure from 10 years ago, but it's really the closing of the gates of Sirius from about 1,000,000 years ago. You finally get through and close the gates. And you're saying, what am I waiting for? Well, have you ever been on an airplane being transported from one place to another? You get there, you land, and what do? You wait at the gate. You're waiting at the gate. You're not waiting in God's waiting room anymore. You're here, okay? The re-entry is rough, I know. The takeoff is rough, I know. But what do you do about it, okay? When you get off that plane, you pretty much file out single file and you meet up with your loved ones, okay? That's some of the earth and the cosmic people that you know. If you have done somebody wrong, if you have done things that aren't right, you're going to have to fix it. You're going to have to mend fences. There's a proper way to do it, and it's not always safe to say it to someone's face. A lot of people risk that. They sometimes can't judge if they should say something to someone in person or they shouldn't. Okay, sometimes it just blurts out of people, and people will say, it was all built up here. Well, that buildup isn't always the heart. That buildup a lot of times is the emotional body. And if you're ready to pop yours, it's time to come see me, because we get it moving properly, in the proper level, at a proper level where you can actually effectively do it efficiently, the right way, in an appropriate manner, and in the highest, most loving way possible. It's not always a fair thing to unburden yourself, because you may be unburdening yourself on the wrong person. So that's something else that people never take into account. Am I saying this to the correct person? Am I laying all this out to the person who I believe? And are you really thinking, or are you knowing that there's a true connection there? Okay. Do you go tell someone off? No. Okay. The way of the world has gotten far too violent, and yet these little outbursts here and there don't really suit twin flames well. It is appropriate to say things in a proper venue, which is what I walk you through your causal body session. Now, the closure, okay, earth karma closure, so it stops. Okay, what stops? The patterns, the patterning. This is sometimes when you can say, why do I always seem to attract the same man? Okay, why is he always a certain way? Why do I always attract people with addictions? Why do I always attract people I have to babysit? Why do I always attract people who, need this or that? Or you might say, if you're a man, when did I become everyone's daddy? Why is everyone looking to me for answers? When do I get to have a life? Okay. There's a thing to know. Masculine and feminine are equal, mean they're equally distributed within you. Okay, so a lot of people are throwing around the lingo. My DM went to the DMV and then went to the ASA for the karmic thing. And you might say, what are they talking about? Because DM in technology means direct message, and DM in our world means divine masculine. Does divine masculine really mean your boyfriend? Or does it actually mean the divine masculine? Because men just walking around, well, it is an honorific, of course, to call them a divine masculine. It's not always because they've connected that. We want them to. You have to take the pressure off because that's how it is. The divine feminine, okay? There's a lot of here tell about how put upon the divine feminine is, okay? Are you aware that if you are on a sinking ship that you have the ability to jump off? Okay, that's part of your own self-mastery. Can you take the wheel? If someone keeps getting drunk or messed up or screwing up somehow in whatever department of life, whether they do it with addictions or they do it financially. Oh, I've got another get rich quick scheme. And you just say, oh God, that means I'm going to have a second job, isn't it? That means I'm going to have to bail you out. Okay, are you with a sinking ship? Can you recognize the red flags? Maybe, maybe not. Because a lot of times we have big hearts and we like to give people chances. This time frame is exactly your second chance. So starting from July of last year through the solstice of this year, through the next solstice in June of this year, and in between you have a couple of eclipses, you have a retrograde. Now this retrograde is for getting the finer details of your life sorted out. If you don't know what that is, you need to come see me. And I'm not kidding about it. It's time to engage your body. If you think that being a twin flame is about just reading tarot cards, it's not. You have to know your body. You have to do things with your body. You're going to make love with your body. So let's get sensible, people. I'm not here to knock people because they even read for the tarot card readers when they don't know what's going on. So, I mean, let's call it what it is. You're here to be together. There are only two of you. You're able to put the closure, but now here is what needs to happen. High level healing and removal of all the things that would disturb you, plague you, diminish you, limit you, throw you off, make you sick again. That's something that people forget. Okay, you're still going to be living out your human life. How do you want it to be? Do you want to slow down the aging process? Do you want your channels open only to each other, or do you want a crowd in there? Do you want to be able to get off this planet again? And astral planing is not getting off this planet. That is traveling within the astral plane. That happens with certain drugs, sometimes with alcohol, although not anymore. At one time it did. It happens when people are knocked out with certain things like anesthesia. It has happened in a natural way when we sleep. Now, that's another thing that gives you the clues of what's going on. Has your sleep been disturbing, upsetting, non-existent? Are you getting woken up at night? Are you getting woken up with some regularity that makes you feel like you're sleeping in shifts? I talk about that. All of the things that I'm telling you, I'm talking about in my books. I have books 1, 2, and 3, and soon I'm to come out with book number 4. You have to know how to heal and rebuild from the inside out. Not only that, you need to know how to heal and seal. Okay? Because just because the big gate closes, you have to know how to seal up your own personal gates. How do you never let anything but each other in ever again? Through your body, through sealing. Through healing and sealing your gates. That's what I call it. And that's what it is. You're quite literally healing yourself, sealing up again, and being able to get on your way and get deeper with each other and not everybody else. That upsets some people because there's comfort in numbers sometimes. Misery loves company too, which is why people tend to, go on to forums, and it's easier to look at everyone else and give advice to everyone else than it is to look at our own situations. I get it. I do get it. That's a part of our nature. We sometimes can very clearly see where someone else needs help, but we can't always clearly see our own stuff. In a short while, in another presentation, I'm going to be covering some things on the mirror and what the mirror is, what it isn't, and how to do it properly. But for those of you who really want to get a jump here, a jump to the next level where you stop networking in the old ways and you start connecting to the higher grid of life, have a causal body session with me. The link is below. It is well worth it. I have 2 sessions. If you struggle with phobias, if you struggle with fears, hesitations, phobias, and addictions, that is something that I also do help with. And even if it's not you, I help you so that it can help your twin flame. So if you're seeing a mirror of some stuff that you don't want and you're just completely lost as to, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? I don't want this. I've had this and had this and had this, or something inside tells you enough. You're not intended to go on with your life with that, but how do you remove it if it's something that either you or your twin flame has done? That's when you need to come and see me. So I'm going to show you something here. Okay. We have, okay. In 2013, a lot of the Seraphim started waking up and having their activations. Now, this was an activation of a higher part, okay? Then you have the people who were Seraphim Ophanim in 2014 brought here. So this was the beginning of the end of the old structures. What are the end of the old structures? The end of the old structures sometimes means organizations that originated out in the cosmos and were brought here and then modified and sort of evolved with Earth. One of those structures is the medical field. It's become a little bit more of a blend of science and medicine, and previous to that, it could be more of what we could call ritual, which worked with the former light body in those levels. You can't do that anymore. You have a physically dense carbon-based body. You have 2 bodies and you have 2 people. Okay, that's times 4. You need to come to someone who is an expert in this. I'm going to show you something else. Someone wrote and said, Patricia, can you please show your map again? I'm going to just show the map here briefly. Okay, I've done a map in several videos. Okay, the reason I prepared this map was to pretty much show you where there are strategically placed pockets of twin flame couples and people. Okay, so there's a lot in, let me kind of open this. There's a lot in Australia, Southeast Asia. There are people in China, of course, but they don't have the same internet structure as the rest of us. So maybe they see me, maybe they don't. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure Spirit has showed me that they are there. You have people pretty much in every populated city in both Europe, the United States, so North America, South America. I don't speak every language, so this is just to give you an idea of where we are. Why is this important? Because it provides stability for the rest of people. So as twin flames start to bring everything to center, okay, you start to bring a sense of balance. Of course, that's going to catalyze things. Of course, it's going to shake things and make tower more moments. Of course, you're doing this towards each other, okay? And you got to keep one foot in front of the other and keep going. You might be able to breathe. If you're not breathing, you need to come and see me too. But if you falter, you have to get back up again. Stay the course. Stay the course and start having some of the high-level things that I am here for, okay? You have to be someone whose plane has landed, you're connected, you've come in from that place, and you are moving out of the gate, out and away from the old gates, okay? You also cannot be standing there looking for your suitcase, okay? If you're standing waiting for the suitcase that, you know, is going around on the carousel and you're calling that your DM, it's connected on the inside of you, okay? Everything is inside. So just like in ancient texts when they have said everything from your hair to your toenails is numbered and is accounted for, that is absolute truth, okay? And not only that, this is a very thorough cleaning. If you are a healer of any kind, if you're thinking of working as a healer or working with people on this stuff, you need to talk to me because it is going to be such a thorough thing. And there's a reason for it. People who are people have to be the healed healers. If you're wondering why you're so put upon, that's part of the reason. And there may be other reasons which I can only tell when I work with you. So what I would like to say is thank you to everyone who's been watching. Thank you to everyone in my webinars. Expect some more stuff to keep happening because it will. Instead of being baffled about it, please check out my websites. Please have a causal body session. I will make things concise for you and show you where we need to move things. Where's the blocks? Where's the blocks to unifying yourself? Where are the blocks to physical union? That's what people want to know. When am I going to be kissed? When am I going to be held? What is he or she thinking of me? Where's the block to union? That's what I help get moving. And it happens through the body, not the mind. Okay? There may be very pleasing things said to the mind. And I know that too. A lot of people go daily to just check what's happening in Twin Flame Landia. Pay attention to your own love story. Pay attention to your body. Those are the things that you need to take with you and be together with and merge together. That is why my website is called Twin Flames Merge, because I help people to merge together and continue the process and continue removing things. So, on another note here, okay, just going to say this. In fact, I'm going to say this just so you know. I am gearing up here to really make things very concise, and I very much appreciate everybody who has liked my videos. There's been a lot of material in here. I have developed some very good ways to cut through things, okay? So if I say this to you, if you want to get rid of something and you're looking at, you know, 2 to 3 years of therapy plus those costs, or you could have 2 or 3 sessions with me and you'd only have the cost of those sessions, which would you choose? I'm capable of doing those psychic surgeries at a very high level and getting you to participate so that you help your other, and I support you with what to do in the coming days. I don't just leave you hanging, okay? I explain it to you and I help you and I follow up with you. And that's how it should be. That's how, you know, it should be. And I took that inspiration from Edgar Cayce, because Edgar Cayce wasn't always able to get feedback, just the mail alone. People would write a letter and say, my son has this affliction. And the mail would take 4 weeks to get there. Write back another response 4 weeks. And then what do you get? Now you have a 2 month turnaround time. So this is the reason, because then not only can you improve, but I can improve. And we cut to the chase and get it done. That is what I'm a firm believer in. Getting things done so that you can get out of pain, out of discomfort, avoid things too. This is another thing that sometimes people are not understanding. How would you avoid getting sick? How would you maintain the health of your light body? I have that information. So a lot of that is in my first 3 books that has quite a bit of information, how to rebuild, how to heal and seal. So come and have a causal body session. Thanks so much for watching, and use this retrograde energy wisely for yourself. Bye.